Welcome, listener. Today, we're diving deep into a truth that transcends time, culture, and fleeting trends. A truth rooted in the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, yet as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. What is it that women respect above everything you could ever do for them? Is it wealth, charm, grand gestures? No, it's something far more profound, something that speaks to the core of human connection and virtue. It's something you can cultivate within yourself, no matter who you are or what you have. It's the Stoic principle of living with integrity, self-mastery, and authentic respect not just for others, but for yourself. This isn't about tricks or shortcuts. It's about becoming the kind of man who commands respect naturally, not through force or manipulation, but through the quiet strength of character. Over the next hour, we'll explore how Stoicism, a philosophy of resilience, wisdom, and virtue, can guide you to embody the qualities that women, and indeed all people, respect above all else. Let's begin. First, let's define respect. In the Stoic sense, respect isn't about admiration for external achievements or possessions. It's not about how much money you make, the car you drive, or the status you hold. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Respect, in this context, is about aligning your actions with what is right and true consistently, deliberately, and without seeking applause. For women, respect is earned through character. It's about who you are when no one's watching, how you treat others when there's nothing to gain, and how you handle life's challenges with grace and dignity. Women don't respect men who chase approval or who crumble under pressure. They respect men who are grounded in their principles, who live with purpose, and who treat others with fairness and kindness, not because they're trying to impress, but because it's who they are. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control what others think or feel. We can't control whether someone respects us, but we can control our own actions, our own virtues. As Epictetus, another Stoic sage, said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Focus on what you can control, your character, your behavior, your choices." When you do that, respect follows not as a goal, but as a byproduct. Let's start with the cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, self-mastery. Why does this matter? Because a man who cannot control himself cannot inspire respect in others. If you're ruled by your emotions, anger, lust, fear, or insecurity, you're like a ship without a rudder, tossed about by every wave. Women notice this. They see when a man is reactive, when he lashes out in frustration or clings to validation. And they respect the opposite, a man who remains calm in chaos, who thinks before he acts, who stays true to his values even when it's hard. Self-mastery begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect. What triggers you? What makes you lose your cool? Is it criticism, rejection, failure? Stoicism teaches us to observe our emotions without being consumed by them. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When you master your mind, you stop being a slave to external circumstances. You don't need a woman's approval to feel good about yourself. You don't need external validation to know your worth. And paradoxically, that independence is what earns you respect. Here's a practical exercise. The next time you feel anger or frustration rising, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this reaction serving me? Is it aligned with the man I want to be? This simple act of pausing can transform how you show up in the world. Women respect a man who doesn't let his emotions run the show, who can stay composed and make rational decisions even under pressure. Now, let's talk about integrity. In Stoicism, integrity isn't just about honesty. It's about living in alignment with your values. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's inconvenient, even when it costs you something. Women respect men who are consistent, who keep their word, who don't bend their principles to please others or avoid conflict. Think about it. How often do you see men compromise their values to impress a woman? Maybe they exaggerate their accomplishments, pretend to agree with opinions they don't hold, or go along with something they know is wrong just to avoid rocking the boat. This might work in the short term, but it erodes respect over time. Women can sense inauthenticity. They can tell when you're putting on a mask. And nothing undermines respect faster than a lack of integrity. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is the Stoic call to action. Don't just talk about your values, live them. If you promise something, follow through. If you make a mistake, own it and make it right. If you believe in treating others with kindness, do it consistently, not just when it's easy or when someone's watching. Integrity is magnetic because it's rare. It's the kind of quality that makes a woman feel safe, valued, and respected in your presence. Here's a truth that Stoicism hammers home: you cannot demand respect. You can only earn it by giving it. Epictetus taught, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them." This applies to how we treat others. If you view women as objects to be won or as means to an end, you're already on the wrong path. If you view them as human beings with their own dreams, fears, and struggles worthy of dignity and kindness, you're aligning with Stoic virtue. Respecting others doesn't mean being a pushover. It doesn't mean agreeing with everything a woman says or does. It means listening to her with an open mind, valuing her perspective, and treating her with the same fairness you'd want for yourself. It means setting boundaries with confidence and clarity, not out of ego, but out of self-respect. Women respect men who can disagree without being disagreeable, who can stand their ground without belittling others. Let's make this practical. The next time you're in a conversation with a woman, whether it's a romantic partner, a colleague, or a stranger, practice active listening. Don't interrupt. Don't think about what you're going to say next while she's talking. Really hear her. Ask questions that show you're engaged. This small act of respect can have a profound impact. It shows you value her as a person, not just as a means to an end. And that, in turn, earns you her respect. Stoicism emphasizes consistency. It's not enough to be virtuous once in a while, to show integrity only when it suits you, or to practice self-mastery only when things are going well. Women respect men who are steady, who show up the same way day after day, who don't waver when life gets tough. Consistency is about building trust. When a woman knows she can rely on you, whether it's to keep your word, to stay calm in a crisis, or to treat her with respect even when you're upset, she feels secure. And security is the foundation of respect. Inconsistency, on the other hand, breeds doubt. If you're kind one day and cold the next, if you make promises you don't keep, or if you let your emotions dictate your behavior, you undermine the trust that respect is built on. Seneca wrote, "No man is good by chance." Virtue is a habit. Make integrity a habit. Make self-mastery a habit. Make respect a habit. Start small. Show up on time. Keep your commitments. Practice patience in small moments. Over time, these small acts compound into a character that commands respect without demanding it. Now, let's apply these principles to relationships specifically. Stoicism isn't just about personal virtue. It's about how we interact with others. In romantic relationships, women respect men who bring strength, stability, and authenticity to the table. This doesn't mean being perfect, it means being real. It means owning your flaws, working to improve them, and treating your partner with the same respect you'd want in return. One Stoic principle that's especially relevant here is amor fati, love of fate. This means accepting life as it comes, including the challenges and imperfections of relationships. Women respect men who don't run from difficulties, who don't blame others for their problems, but who face challenges head-on with courage and humility. If a relationship hits a rough patch, don't lash out or withdraw. Instead, approach it with the Stoic mindset. What can I control? How can I act with virtue in this moment? Another key Stoic idea is the dichotomy of control. In relationships, you can't control how a woman feels about you, whether she stays or leaves, or how she reacts to you. But you can control how you show up. You can choose to communicate honestly, to listen with empathy, to act with kindness even when it's hard. When you focus on what's in your control, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to manipulate outcomes. And that freedom is attractive. It's the kind of strength that women respect deeply. Humility is a Stoic virtue that's often overlooked but incredibly powerful. Women respect men who are confident without being arrogant, who can admit when they're wrong, who don't need to prove themselves at every turn. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't need to show off, or to pretend to be something you're not. Just be yourself, and do what you can to make the world a better place." Humility doesn't mean downplaying your strengths. It means recognizing that you're human, that you're not perfect, and that you don't need to be. It means being secure enough to apologize when you've hurt someone, to learn from your mistakes, and to value others' contributions. A humble man doesn't need to dominate a conversation or prove he's the smartest person in the room. He's confident in who he is, and that confidence allows him to lift others up. Try this. The next time you're tempted to boast or defend your ego, pause. Ask yourself, is this about proving something, or is it about doing what's right? Humility is a quiet strength, and it's one of the most respected qualities you can cultivate. Courage is another Stoic virtue that resonates deeply in relationships. Women respect men who face life's challenges with bravery, not just physical courage, but emotional and moral courage. This means standing up for what's right, even when it's unpopular. It means being vulnerable enough to express your true feelings, even when it's uncomfortable. It means taking responsibility for your actions, even when it's easier to make excuses. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Life will throw challenges at you: rejection, failure, conflict. How you handle these moments defines you. A man who runs from adversity or blames others for his problems loses respect. A man who faces adversity with courage, who learns from it and grows stronger, earns it. Here's a challenge. The next time you face a difficult situation in a relationship, maybe a disagreement or a misunderstanding, approach it with courage. Don't avoid the conversation. Don't deflect blame. Instead, face it head on with honesty and a willingness to listen. This kind of courage is rare, and it's deeply respected. Let's bring all of this together with a real-world scenario. Imagine you're in a relationship, and you and your partner have a disagreement. Maybe she feels you haven't been present enough, or you feel she's been unfair. Your first instinct might be to get defensive, to argue, or to withdraw. But let's apply Stoicism here. First, practice self-mastery. Pause and breathe. Don't let your emotions take over. Ask yourself, what's in my control right now? You can't control how she feels, but you can control how you respond. Next, lean on integrity. Be honest about your feelings and your role in the situation. If you've been distracted or neglectful, own it. If you feel she's misunderstood you, explain your perspective calmly and respectfully. Show respect by listening to her side without interrupting. Value her perspective, even if you don't agree. This doesn't mean giving in, it means engaging with her as an equal, with dignity. Be consistent. If you commit to making a change, like being more present, follow through. Don't make promises you can't keep. Small, consistent actions build trust over time. Finally, embrace humility and courage. Admit if you've made a mistake. Be willing to have the tough conversation, even if it's uncomfortable. This is how you show up as a man of character. When you approach the situation this way, you're not just resolving a conflict, you're building a foundation of respect. You're showing her that you're a man who lives by principles, who can be trusted, who values her as a partner. And that's what women respect above everything else. Stoicism isn't about quick fixes. It's about the long game. Women don't just respect a man for a single act of kindness or a moment of strength. They respect a man who lives with purpose, who strives to be better every day, who builds a life of meaning and virtue. This means committing to personal growth. Read philosophy, not just Stoicism, but other wisdom traditions. Reflect on your values and how you can live them more fully. Surround yourself with people who challenge you to be better, who hold you accountable to your principles. And most importantly, keep practicing. Virtue isn't something you achieve once and for all, it's a lifelong pursuit. As you grow in self-mastery, integrity, respect, consistency, humility, and courage, you'll notice something. Respect becomes effortless. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to demand it. It flows naturally from who you are. Women and people in general will be drawn to you, not because of what you have, but because of who you are. So, what do women respect above everything you do for them? It's not your money, your looks, or your accomplishments. It's your character. It's the man you choose to be every single day. Stoicism gives us the tools to build that character, to master ourselves, to live with integrity, to treat others with respect, and to face life's challenges with courage and humility. Start today. Take one small step toward becoming the man you want to be. Pause before you react. Keep your word. Listen with intention. Face your fears. Over time, these small acts will transform you. And as you transform, you'll find that respect, the kind that matters, follows naturally. Thank you for listening. Now go out there and live with virtue.